Good day. This is Mr. Allen. This is April 9th. We are continuing triangles and quadrilaterals. What we're doing now is we are going to go over the different types of quadrilaterals that we have. We went over parallelograms, I believe, last time, and a parallelogram is a quadrilateral, which is a four-sided figure. That's all. A fancy way of saying a four-sided figure that has two pairs of parallel sides. So you have a pair of shoes, meaning you have two shoes. You have a pair of parallel lines, meaning you have parallel lines and two parallel lines. So a parallelogram is a four-sided figure which has two pairs of parallel sides. So as long as they have two pairs of complete opposite sides, this would be a parallelogram. So I want you, it doesn't necessarily matter the length, as long as both sides are parallel, meaning they're complete opposite, they'll never touch. So this is not parallel, the lines will eventually touch. Parallel lines, they will never touch. If you have an imaginary line and you just keep going, they will never touch. So two pairs of parallel sides. So just real quick, I want you guys to pause the video, of course. I really recommend that you pause them and make sure you think about your answers. Which ones would be parallel? Which ones would be a parallelogram? So I'm gonna pause it real quick. I want you guys to let me know. So we are back and want to know which ones would be a parallelogram. Would you say number one would be a parallelogram? Yes, you would be correct because these are parallel and these are parallel. So two pairs of parallel sides. Would you say number two would be a parallelogram? You would also be correct. These two lines, they will never touch. If you have an imaginary line, keep going, they'll never touch. So these are parallel. So that's one pair. And then these are parallel. So that's two pairs. So this is a parallelogram. This is a parallelogram. What about number three? If I say number three is not a parallelogram, would I be correct? No, I'd be wrong. This is a pair of parallel lines. That is a pair. So that's one, two. Two pairs of parallel lines. Number four, would that be a parallelogram? If I say it would not, would I be correct? I would be correct. So we have these two lines which are parallel. So this is one pair of parallel lines. But these, if you keep going with this, off the line, it will eventually hit this one. So if I were to do an imaginary line and keep going, it's eventually going to hit this one. So that is not parallel. So it only has one pair of parallel lines. Number five is not even a quadrilateral, so it doesn't matter. Number six, if I say that's a parallelogram, would I be correct? Yes, I would be correct. These lines are parallel, they'll never match. These lines are parallel, they'll never touch. Number seven, if I said that's a parallelogram, would I be correct? Yes, I would be correct. Again, those two pairs of parallel lines, they will never touch. Number eight, if I say number eight is a parallelogram, would I be correct? I would be incorrect. These lines are perpendicular. They're not parallel. There are no parallel lines on this at all. All of these lines will eventually meet. Number nine, if I say number nine is not a parallelogram, would I be correct? I would be correct. This is one pair of parallel lines, so that's awesome. But these are not parallel because eventually, if you do a dot and you keep going, it's eventually going to reach up here, and these two lines are going to eventually touch. So, not a parallelogram. Number 10. If I say number 10 is a parallelogram, would I be correct? Yes, I would be correct. Two pairs of parallel lines. That is a parallelogram. Trapezoids. Now, a trapezoid is a quadrilateral that has one pair of parallel lines. So, if you have a quadrilateral, four-sided figures with two pairs, it is not a trapezoid. Three pairs, it's no longer a quadrilateral, but it's not a trapezoid. It has to have one pair, like shoes, a pair of shoes, has one pair of parallel lines, meaning it has exactly two lines that are opposite. One pair of parallel lines. So I want you to go through and look at these. Which one of these has exactly one pair of parallel lines? And again, I highly recommend you pause it, really think about it. Would this be? Why would it not be? Really process it, because that's what's going to make you remember. Pause it and think about it. So you're doing the right thing. You pause the video and you're back. All right. Trapezoid is a quadrilateral or four-sided figure with one pair of parallel lines. Now, can we see which ones would be a trapezoid? Now, let's say number one. If I say number one is a trapezoid, would I be correct? I would be incorrect, because remember we went over before, this is a pair of parallel lines, and this is a pair of parallel lines. So that's two pairs, and that's too many. Trapezoid has one pair of parallel lines. Number two, same thing. It has two pairs, so that is not a trapezoid. It's not a trapezoid. Number three, this is a pair of parallel lines. This is a pair. That's two pairs. Still not a trapezoid. Number four, if I say number four is not a trapezoid, would I be correct? I'd be incorrect. Because if you can see here, these lines, even though they're not the same length, they're still parallel. If you do an imaginary line and keep going, they'll never touch. They're complete opposite. So that's one pair. We're good. And these will eventually touch. So these are not parallel. So we have the one pair of parallel lines that we need. So number four is a trapezoid because it has one pair of parallel lines. Number five is not a quadrilateral, so not even in the mix. Number six. If I say it is a trapezoid, would I be correct? No, I would be incorrect. Again, that's one pair. That's another pair. So that's two pairs for number six. That is not a trapezoid. That is a parallelogram. Now, number seven. If I say that is not a trapezoid, would I be correct? Yes, I would be correct. Number seven is not a trapezoid because it has one pair and then another pair. Two pairs of parallel lines. Number eight is not a trapezoid either. Number nine, would I be correct if I said number nine is a trapezoid? Yes, I would be correct because we can see it has a pair of parallel lines here. They're not the same length, but it doesn't matter as long as the lines never touch. They are parallel, so that's one, but these are not parallel because eventually they will touch. See, if you do an imaginary dot and just keep going, it's going to reach this line. That is not parallel. That is a trapezoid. And number 10 is not a trapezoid. All right? So again, trapezoids are four-sided figures or quadrilaterals that have one pair of parallel lines. And I'll have the descriptions, the definitions in the descriptions below. Rectangle. Now, a rectangle is a quadrilateral or four-sided figure with four right angles. That's that little box is in, four 90-degree angles, and two pairs of parallel lines, or two pairs of lines that are the exact same length. So a rectangle is a four-sided figure or a quadrilateral. Remember, that's what quadrilateral means. That has four right angles and two pairs of parallel lines. So I want you to think about it. It has two pairs of parallel lines and it has four right angles. So I want you to pause the video, go through which one of these have four right angles and two pairs of parallel lines. You're gonna do the right thing and pause. All right, we are back. You paused the video, you wrote your answers down, you really thought it through, and now we're checking them together. Number one, if I say number one is a rectangle, am I correct? I am correct because we have the four right angles right there, and we have the two pairs of parallel lines. So we know that number one would be a rectangle. What about number two? If I say number two is a rectangle, am I correct? Yes, I am also correct. Because again, we have the 4 right angles right there. And we have these two making a pair of parallel lines. And then that makes a pair of parallel lines. So we know that that is also a rectangle. Number 3. If I say number 3 is not a rectangle, would I be correct? No, I would be incorrect. Number 3 is a rectangle because it has the 4 right angles, or the 4 90-degree angles, and it has 2 pairs of parallel sides. So this would also be a square and a rectangle. So rectangles can also be squares. So this is a rectangle because 4 90 degrees and 2 pairs of parallel lines. Number 4. If I say number 4 is a rectangle, would I be correct? No, I would be incorrect because a good way to see is we don't even have 4 right angles. We only have 2. So right off there, we know that this can't be a rectangle. And these are not parallel. We need those 2 parallel lines. Number 5. Is number 5 even a quadrilateral? Yeah, it is a quadrilateral. I think I said it wasn't at some point accidentally. No, it is a quadrilateral because it has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, but there are no right angles in there. So there are no right angles in number 5. That is a quadrilateral. I think I may have made a mistake earlier, but that is a quadrilateral. Number 6, quadrilateral, not a rectangle. Number 6, if I say that's not a rectangle, would I be correct? Yes, I would be correct. That's not a rectangle. There are no right angles in here, even though they have 2 pairs of parallel sides, but there are no right angles, so not a rectangle. Number 7. I say number 7 is a rectangle. I believe it is. Would I be correct? Yes, I would be correct because it has 4 right angles in there, and it has the 2 pairs of parallel sides. Number 8. That would not be a rectangle because it only has 1 right angle. So that's not a rectangle. Number 9. Would number 9 be a rectangle? No. Number 9 is not a rectangle. It has 2 right angles, but it needs 4, and then it only has 1 pair of parallel lines. So this is parallel, this is not parallel. And then number 10 would not be a rectangle because again, it does not have the 4 right angles, and it has the parallel lines, which is good, but it doesn't have the 4 rectangles. That is not, I'm sorry, 4 right angles. So that would not be a rectangle. All right, the rhombus. A rhombus. What is a rhombus? A rhombus is a 4-sided figure or a quadrilateral that has the lengths are all the same. It has 4 of the same exact lengths, and it has the same acute and obtuse angle. So what that means is the acute, we went over acute, is anything less than 90 degrees, so like between 1 degree and 89, less than 90 degrees. And then obtuse is anywhere greater. So from 91 all the way to 179, that's obtuse. So acute is less than 90, obtuse is greater than 90, but less than 180. So what it's saying is that these 2 acute angles would be the exact same length or the same degree, and then these obtuse angles would be the same, or it has 4 right angles or 4 90-degree angles as well. So a rhombus can be a square as well. Now, again, a rhombus is a 4-sided figure or a quadrilateral that has the same length, the exact same length all the way around, and it has the same acute and obtuse angles, or it has 4 90-degree angles. And I'll have the descriptions below. That is a rhombus. Now, I gave you an example with this. Is there any other rhombus on this board? I'm going to give you a minute to figure that out, and we are gonna pause. We are back. Excuse me. Now, number one. If I say number one is a rhombus, would I be correct? No, I would actually be incorrect because it has a 490 degrees, which is good. But as you can see, this length and this length are not the same. And that's differentiated by these lines, which we went over before. So these two mean these two lines are the same, but this one means these two are the same. So these four lines are different. So that would not be a rhombus. Number two, if I say number two is a rhombus, would I be correct? No, I would be incorrect again. As you can see, these lines, these are the same length, but these two are not the same length as these two. So these two are the same, these two are the same, but all four of them are not the same. All right, number three. If I say number three is a rhombus, would I be correct? Yes, I would be correct because it has the same length all the way around, and a rhombus has either acute and obtuse angles that are the same, or it has 490 degrees. So this would be a rhombus. Number four, would number four be a rhombus? No, number four would not be a rhombus because it's different lengths all around. It has to have the same four lengths, and it would have either four right angles or two acute angles and two obtuse that are the exact same. Number 10. Number 10. Number 5. Would number 5 be a rhombus? No, number 5 would not be a rhombus because all of the sides are not the same length. Number 6. If I say number 6 is a rhombus, would I be correct? Yes, I would be, because all the lengths are the same and it has the same acute angles. Wait, I'm so sorry. It has the same acute angles and obtuse angles. So these two are obtuse, these two are acute, and they're the same degrees. Number 7. If I say number 7 is a rhombus, would I be correct? Yes, I would. Again, all four same lengths, all four right angles. Boom, you got yourself a rhombus. Number 8, if I say number 8 is a rhombus, would I be correct? No, I would not, because the shapes, the lengths are not the same, and it doesn't have either two acute and two obtuse that are the same, or four right angles. So number 8 would not be a rhombus. Number 9, would number 9 be a rhombus? No, number 9 would not be a rhombus. It needs to have the same length. Number 9 does not have the same length, and it has right angles, but you would need all four to be right angles as well. And lastly, number 10. If I say number 10 is a rhombus, would I be correct? Yes, I would be correct. Number 10 is a rhombus. Now, this one is going to take a little bit of thought process and a little bit of sitting down. What I have here for the try, I want you, I don't know if you should be able to see this, but it has the numbers 1, 4, 7, and then T for trapezoid. I want you to write this down the same way I have it, and then circle whichever one would be the trapezoid. If it's one or more, I want you to circle it. So I'm going to go over all of them just in case you are not able to see. But number 1 is 1, 4, 7, and then T for trapezoid. So you have 1, 4, and 7, and you're going to circle whichever one is the trapezoid. Number 2 is 3, 8, 9, and it has RE for rectangle. So 3, 8, and 9, and you're going to circle which one is a rectangle, if it's one or more. Number 3 is 7, 3, and 10, and it says RH for rhombus. So 7, 3, and 10, you're going to circle which ones are rhombus. Same way I have it, you're going to write, that's it, 7, 3, 10, and then just circle whichever one is rhombus. Number 4 is 10, 3, and 5, and it has P for parallelogram. So 10, 3, and 5, and you're going to circle whichever one is a parallelogram or if there's more than one. Number 5 is 6, 10, and 7. Number 5 is 6, 10, and 7, and it has RH for rhombus. So again, you're going to circle which ones, plural if there are more than one, that are rhombus. Number 6 is 5, 4, and 9, and it's trapezoid. So you're going to say which one is a trapezoid between 5, 4, and 9, which one or ones, plural. Number 7 is 6, 2, and 3, and we're looking for trapezoid. Number 6 is 5, 4, and 9, and we're looking for trapezoid. Yeah, number 6 is 5, 4, 9, looking for trapezoid. Number 7 is 6, 2, 3, and we're looking for rectangle. I think I made a mistake there, sorry. But number 7 is 6, 2, 3, and we're looking for rectangle. And number 6, just to go over again, was 5, 4, 9, and we're looking for trapezoid. So number 6. Number 8 is 7, 6, 5. Number 8 is 7, 6, and 5, and we're looking for parallelograms. Number 8 is 7, 6, 5, and we're looking for parallelograms. Number 9 is 9, 7, 3, and we're looking for trapezoids. Number 9 is 9, 7, 3, we're looking for trapezoids. And then number 10 is 3, 4, 9, and we're looking for rhombus. Number 10, 3, 4, 9. You're going to say which one or more than one is a rhombus by just circling it. So I'm going to pause, or you're going to pause it. And all right, we are back. Please let me know that you paused it, because it's going to really help you in the long run, sitting down and really working out what is what. All right, number 1. We're looking for trapezoids, again, which are quadrilaterals that have one pair of parallel sides. So we have 1, 4, and 7. So for the trapezoid, you should only circle number 4, because that's the only one that has one pair of parallel sides. So number 1 has 2 pairs, number 7 has 2, so that's boom, boom. Only number 4. Number 2, we're looking for rectangles, and we have 3, 8, and 9. You should only be circling 3 for rectangles. So for number 2, you should only have this one circled. Number 3, we're looking for a rhombus, and we have 7, 3, and 10 for rhombus. You should have all 3 of them circled. For number 3, is this is a rhombus, this is a rhombus, this is a rhombus. All 3 of these are rhombuses. So number 3 should have all 3 of them circled. I hope when I turn my head, like, leave comments if I turn my head, if it gets soft, if you can still hear or whatnot. Number 4, we have 10, 3, and 5, and we are looking for a parallelogram. Again, is a quadrilateral with 2 pairs of parallel sides. So for number 4, number 10 is a parallelogram, number 3 is a parallelogram, number 5 is not a parallelogram. So for number 4, we should have 10 and 3 circled. For the parallelograms, number 5, we're looking for a rhombus. We have 6, 10, and 7. Again, all 3 are rhombus. So you should have, for number 5, you should have all of them circled. All of them are rhombus. Number 6, we're looking for a trapezoid. We have 5, 4, and 9. The answer you should have should be 9 and 4. These 2 are trapezoids because they have one pair of parallel sides each. Number 7, we're looking for 6, 2, and 3, and we're looking for rectangles. And again, a rectangle has 4 right angles and 2 pairs of parallel sides. So for number 6, you should have for number 7, you should have 2 and 3, but not 6. So right angle, 4 right angles, and 2 pairs. That's good. That's good. This is incorrect for number 7. Number 8, we're looking for a parallelogram, and we have 7, 6, and 5. We're looking for a parallelogram, so that would be 6 and 7, leaving on number 5. So for number 8, you should have 6 and 7 for the parallelograms, and number 5 is not in there. Number 9, we're looking for trapezoid, and we have number 9. We have 9, 7, and 3, and we're looking for the trapezoid, I believe. So you should only have number 9 circled for number 9. That is the only trapezoid. And then lastly, number 10, we're looking for a rhombus, and we have 3, 4, and 9. And the only one you should have circled is 3 for number 10, because that is the only rhombus. So yeah, again, please pause, rewind, write it down on paper. It is really going to help you for the next lessons that you have assigned. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me in Class Dojo. And yeah, that should be it for now. Thank you for your time, and you have a great day.